Having grown up worshipping Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, I was really looking forward to reading Influence because this is a book where Mary-Kate and Ashley interview the people who have influenced them, which is a really interesting way of getting an insight into Mary-Kate and Ashley's mind, especially as they don't tend to do interviews themselves nowadays, by which I mean they never do. So it's kind of role reversal and a really fascinating concept. Now, this was actually released in 2008, so I'm slightly late to the party, but I have to say I really liked it. I'm going to do just a whistle stop tour through this. I'm not going to go into too much detail. The point of this is just to show you a quick overview in case you're thinking of getting it, so you can see what's in store. The design of the book is really pleasing. It's got quite a nice size to it, and I apologize for any glare. The setup is pretty straightforward. I'd say half of it is about the people who influenced Mary-Kate and Ashley, and half of it is about them and their personal tastes. And just to, wow, that's bright. To give you a brief look, for example, here we have a little description about the person they're interviewing and who's doing the interview. So in this case, you can see that it's both Mary-Kate and Ashley, and the interview took place in New York. And then we have the interview set up with either Mary-Kate or Ashley in bold, and things seem to flow very naturally and organically. If my phone will focus, I found that the interviews flowed very well. The conversations were really interesting. I knew basically none of the people in this, so I was coming into this with no knowledge. And I think, especially because of that brief introduction, I think it's kind of easy to get a general overview of who they are, what their work involves, and then the interviews dig a little deeper into that. And I'm still learning about some of these people, but certainly I found it to be quite fascinating. And then we get to bits with Mary-Kate and Ashley themselves. This page is a good example. And we just have loads of little snapshots from their life. This one's Mary-Kate, of course. And quite interestingly, they even open up some of their life. This is apparently Mary-Kate's bedroom in LA. At least it was in 2008. I fully assume it looks nothing like that now. But it actually does get really personal, which I was really surprised at because they are very private people, even as far back as 2008. And then it kind of finishes off with some more interviews. There are actually quite a lot of photos of Mary-Kate and Ashley in here. I won't spoil it by revealing them all. See if we can find a couple of others just by way of example. Some of which obviously are like that, which were just pulled together, and then we have some actual posed photos. Some of the photos are actually taken by the people they're interviewing, which I thought was a really nice touch and a really nice way of displaying, if it's a photographer they're interviewing, displaying their style of work by using Mary-Kate and Ashley as their models. I thought that was a pretty interesting concept, and I thought this was a really fun idea, and honestly I imagine it was incredible to put together. I think there are 20 interviews if I'm not mistaken, and let's face it, if somebody said you've got the opportunity to interview 20 of the people who most influenced you, who wouldn't jump at that opportunity? So I imagine it was tremendous fun to put together, and it was pretty fun to read too. If you're a fan of Mary-Kate and Ashley, you will love it, absolutely. If you're a fan of the fashion industry, which I'm not so much, I imagine you'll really enjoy it too. But I learned a lot. It's very thought-provoking. And as I said, it's a lot more personal with regards to Mary-Kate and Ashley being quite open about certain things. And each of them writes a piece about the other. And honestly, they're so moving and so beautiful and worth getting the book just to read those. There are some really beautiful bits in this. And I have to say, Influence was an absolute pleasure to read, and I thoroughly recommend it.